Music and Ideas 91.3 KBCS, Roots Rock and Soul. Listening to Springsteen there, going back to Born to Run and Thunder Road, some Molly Tuttle, new music from Bombadil also in that set, all of which you can check out at kbcs.fm. My name's Ian Hughes, just after 1 o'clock here on this lovely Friday afternoon. Thanks for coming along. I am really pleased to welcome into the KBCS studio today Sam Russell and the Harborrats. They've been called a bizarro version of Springsteen's Asbury Park era and a non-icky take on Blue-Eyed Soul, both of which really make me laugh. To me, they're like the Frankenfurter House Band, channeling Amy Winehouse, covering Tom Waits, but with original songs. You know what I mean. They're Americana, but they also redefine Americana. This isn't so much a contradiction as a national pastime to redefine. To paraphrase Galway Cannell, Sam Russell and the Harborrats aren't the birds that fly out of the ashes, but rather they're the band that seems to simply be open to the flame. Sam Russell and the Harborrats.
I hear the voice of my big brother. He's talking about the trailer of an old TV movie about the 80s turning into the 90s. All the way to 1999, the same year as the journal that I brought to ocean shores. It's not quite Big Sur. The ceiling light does not work. I had to make a homemade sign. I had to switch my room 3 times because the man next door was yelling that he has a gun through the paper-thin walls at the top of his lungs. Did I come to ocean shores to go crazy too? So we're hitting ocean shores once more. 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 There's a man next door yelling that he has a gun. I'm high but not freaking out, even though I'm all messed up. Did I come to ocean shores to die on a hotel room floor? talking about a trailer of an old made-for-TV movie about the 80s turning into the 90s. Too late. I've got nothing on my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say. I go on too many days, but I can make them stay. That's what people say. That's what people say. But I keep moving. Won't stop grooving. So I got this music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright, 'cause the player's gonna play and the hater's gonna hate. Baby, I just wanna shake, 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 shake it off, shake it off. Heartbreak is gonna break and the fake is gonna fake. Baby, I just wanna shake, 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 shake it off, shake it off. I'll never miss a beat, lightning on my feet. That's what people don't see, that's what they don't see. I'm dancing on my own, make the moves up as I go. That's what they don't know, that's what they don't know. But I keep moving, won't stop cruising. So I got the music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright, 'cause the player's gonna play. Shake, 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 shake it off, shake it off. Heartbreak is gonna break, the fake is gonna fade. Baby, I just wanna shake, 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 shake it off, shake it off. Come on now, shake it off, 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 shake it off. Woo! This thing where I get older but never wiser. Midnights become my afternoon, and my depression works the graveyard shift. All of the people I've ghosted stand inside the room. I should not be left to my own devices. They come with prices and vices. I'll end up in crisis. All this time I'll wake up screaming from dreaming. One day I'll watch as you're leaving, 'cause you got tired of my scheming one last time. It's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. Let's see, time, everybody agrees. I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. Must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero. 'Cause the player's gonna play, and the hater's gonna hate. Baby, I just wanna shake, 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 shake it off, shake it off. Heartbreak is gonna break, and the fake is gonna fade. Baby, I just wanna shake, 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 shake it off, shake it off. I'll shake it off, shake it out. I'll shake it off, shake it out. I'll shake it off, shake it out. Yeah, shake it out, shake it out. Oh, shake it off, shake it out. Shake it off, shake it out. I'll shake it off, shake it out. Wanna shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out.
91.3 KBCS Roots Rock and Soul, listening here live in the KBCS studio to Sam Russell and the Harborrats. You can catch them at Tim's Tavern on Saturday, July 22nd, and we are really thrilled to have you guys back in here.
Thanks so much for having me, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. So, Shake It Off, I feel like I've heard that before, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Talk to us about Shake It Off.
Well, that's from this very struggling indie artist coming to Seattle next week. We wanted to give her some props and, give her a little bit of a shout-out. So, no, we love Taylor. We're big T-Swift fans, and, from way, way back.
You do, the Harborrats, you guys do a pretty healthy bunch of covers. How do you kind of pick what you want to do? Like, because they're quirky and they're fun, and truly at the same time, if you really didn't know the song, I think you would just imagine it is a Harborrats song. Like, you really make them your own.
Well, Ian, we'll tell you, because we trust you and love you, that we have this side hustle of doing cover gigs in town because we're struggling musicians and we need a way to get by. And so we have a shtick where we have these covers that we play, songs people want to hear at weddings and what have you, but we do them our own way because we don't know how to play them any other way. And we want to present something cool and new, too.
I love it. I love it. You have a potentially new record on the way at some point here on the horizon, and we're going to get into that and all of it. But I'm going to start with sort of a non-question story and see if I can incite you instead. When I was a kid, growing up in an evangelical household and going to church camp in the summers, the first thing that I really ever wanted was a boombox. And in fact, it actually still sits in my office right here at the station. It's
the same boombox?
The exact one. And the first tape that I wanted was Survivor's Eye of the Tiger, because this teenager who used to babysit me when I was a kid, that's what she liked, and so that's what I liked. And I did. I for once, I actually got what I wanted. I got the boombox. I got the tape, Eye of the Tiger. And then I immediately went off to a church camp, and they really preached the evils of rock and roll that summer.
Yeah.
And I came home after a summer of indoctrination, and I took a hammer to that Survivor Eye of the Tiger tape in a sort of moment of religious fervor. That's my story. What's yours?
Oh, man, I got a song about your story and mine. It's called Christian Rock. We're not playing it today, but it goes, and I got out the hammer and smashed the shell to bits. And and that's what I did. I'd go through these phases of taping songs off the radio and getting cassettes like you had, and then thinking like I shouldn't be listening to this, and then getting rid of all those cassettes. And then the cycle would start again, Yeah. And that guilt would always rise and fall, rise and fall.
What does that tension do to you years later? Because I don't know that it's ever completely exercised, to use a religious term.
It's not. I mean, that's what the music does. It exercises it, and you keep confronting it. You keep, checking in with yourself and saying, where are we at with this right now? And that's what it does. And that's what all these songs do. We're writing, and the new album you mentioned is all about. It's kind of a concept album going through my deep, dark, trauma. But, that's for me. But we're presenting it in a way that's cathartic, and that catharsis is the universal part that people connect to.
Do you find that? Do you find that particular strand is connecting to the listeners?
Yeah, I think so, because they don't need to know the specifics of what you're being cathartic about. They just hear the energy first, right, and the fact that you're releasing something. And everyone wants to release something in themselves, and so that's what they identify with. And then, like, later they can get into what my specifics are.
Yeah. We were talking, actually, when we were setting this up a couple of weeks ago, I just played Thunder Road, which we played again today as sort of an intro into the song. And that era of Springsteen, it really does encapsulate that catharsis, that sort of rock and roll sort of spirit.
Yeah.
We also were talking about recording songs off of the radio. If you were to go back in time and find all of these old Maxwell tapes, I had hundreds of tapes with the first second or two cut off of every single song, right? Because you would jam.
It's an art, man. You hear it, you
got to go fast, yeah?
Yeah.
What were you recording off the radio?
The first song that really did it for me was Runaway by Del Shannon. It was in 4th grade. I won a boombox like yours at this Catholic fair in my hometown, and it was the first time I had access to have that power, right? And so just cassettes were full of oldies radio songs like that, and Runaway was the one that really hit me, and seemed to be singing about something larger than life and like the religion in the church that I went to, It's on that level for me.
You guys put on a really interesting show, too. Often you can find, I see you guys in these, like, bright red suits, and it's like this whole sort of, vibe. It's a little camp. It's a little lounge. It sort of harkens back a bit to the theatricality of, maybe the New York Dolls and some of these other, like, amazing rock and roll bands. Where did that sort of, where did that come from for you? Where did you kind of pull that stuff out from? Because, you don't see it much as much.
Well, you nailed it. The camp offsets the earnestness, right, of the songs. It gives you a license to sing about very serious things and about yourself and, tell the audience, like, we're still having fun here, And, in Seattle, not a lot of people are doing that presentation of kitsch and shtick, and so yeah, we really embrace that and love doing that. I think it's part of our sense of humor too. It's just like that's how we bond as a band. It's like having that camp element.
Yeah. You've over the years, you guys have put out like a lot of records and a lot of songs over the years, but you've kind of pared it down to this trio that at least that I'm sure people are sort of coming and going in it, but this sort of nucleus that you're playing with right now with Amy and Ken. You want to talk about your guys' vibe and where you connect a bit with the music?
Absolutely. Over COVID, we just started getting together once a week, potting together as you had to do back then, and just playing all the time. And we had just lost our 4th band member who moved away. She's still a member, but she's just, she's part of us still. And we just got really tight, came up with all these songs, and it just reset what our priorities are. It reset for me what I want to do with music and what I wanted to say with it. And that's the bond I think we always had, but it really came to fore these last 3 years. And that's what we're presenting now with our last album and then the new one we're working on now.
What do you want to say with it?
I just want to say that, for people listening, people that went through my thing specifically, it's okay. Like, you can get through the thing you're going through and come out the other end and find a way to deal with it. And then the people that didn't go through with it, just say that, like, hey, we're here to play rock and roll and have fun, too. Both sides are. That's what Springsteen was good at, like having the serious and having fun, too, at once.
So you do have a new record on the way. You have a Kickstarter currently underway.
GoFundMe,
GoFundMe, which you can find on the Sam Russell and the Harborrats Bandcamp site, or presumably the website as
Instagram, Bandcamp, our site, wherever you want to go and help us out. We'd really appreciate it. But musicians, we're not making a lot of money nowadays, and every little bit really, really, really helps.
What does that mean in terms of the community around you to sort of be sourced from the people that love the band versus maybe a corporate, entity or something that's looking to monetize the band?
I mean, we're not above being monetized by corporations. They just haven't come a knocking, So, I mean, before the session, she was mentioning Sheryl Crow once did a truck ad and got a lot of guff for it, and
she being Amy.
Amy, yeah. So my bandmates Amy Zoe and Ken Nottingham over here. But nowadays it's just it's a given that independent artists have to find other ways to subsidize their art, whether it's sponsorship or crowdsourcing like we're doing, and that's the first step. Or like we do, we play cover gigs where we play weddings or what have you, and get the money coming in.
I remember reading an interview with Tom Petty a number of years ago about songwriting, and they were sort of pushing him on authenticity, and he was pushing back on that notion and saying, every single time I write a song, I hope it's a #1 hit. He's like, I'm actually trying to write #1 hit songs, and I always loved that. I think that was very true. The Perfect Sunflower, we're going to take a listen to that. If you're just tuning in, we're talking with Sam Russell and the Harborrats. They'll be at Tim's Tavern on Saturday, July 22nd. There is a GoFundMe for the new record on Sam Russell's Bandcamp and website pages, etc. And we are going to listen to something that will likely be on that new record here. Do you want to set it up?
Absolutely. This is a song I wrote over COVID. And it was about someone I was seeing at the time. And by the time we came to record it, I didn't really feel like singing it anymore because I didn't really want to think about that person. But then I realized the subtext of the song was about how we got together and played over lockdown together, and it became more about us. And while singing it, I lean into that subtext, and that's what it's about now to me. It's a duet with Amy, it's a duet with Ken, and it's all of us singing together. And so it's something I'm really proud of.
That's beautiful. Let's hear it.
Thanks, Ian. You guys ready? First time seeing people.
First time seeing people.
From March to July.
From March to July.
The first time in person. With a person in a while.
When I saw you smile.
When I saw your smile.
After you took off your mask.
When you took off your mask.
Took a seat to eat on the wedding's green, green grass. It was good to have a good day.
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 To have a good
Good to have
with you.
Suddenly, you had to work late when you met me out for a drink.
The bars had just opened up and we said maybe a hike at Carkeek next week.
Sat on the beach log at
Sat
sundown.
on the beach log. It's
Drink beer from the backpack you brought
beer
in.
from the backpack you
And you
brought
told
down.
me you were a Christian. In my head I heard old Christian rock songs.
The ones where the purpose
The ones where the purpose
is to praise the Lord Jesus.
praise the Lord Jesus.
The ones with the purpose
The ones where the purpose
are to just sing along.
At the end of the date I made up my own Christian rock song. It was good to have a good
Good to have a good day.
to have a good
Good to have a good day.
To have a good
Good to have
with you.
A couple more weeks gone.
Couple more weeks
We
gone.
took the ferry to Vashon.
Took the ferry to Vashon.
Couldn't believe we talked for so goddamn long.
Non-stop 10 hours. The stamina power. By seeing a halo over the perfect sunflower. When you drop me off, I sat down and shook and had the shivers. Only kindness delivers. It was good to have a
have a good day.
To 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 have a good day
To have
with you.
91.3 KBCS Roots Rock and Soul, live in the studio with Sam Russell and the Harborrats and their latest song called The Perfect Sunflower. You can catch out all the information about Sam Russell on the Bandcamp site, and you can catch them at Tim's Tavern on Saturday, July 22nd. Thank you so much for coming in, guys. Oh, I tell you what, this was really great.
This is great. I really appreciate it, Ian.
Appreciate
Love
it.
you.
We're going to close it with a song about Adrian Rich, sort of. 91.3 KBCS.
1, 2, 3.